Welcome to our workshop. I've got a wobbly chair here with some really loose joints. How do you fix that? I'm going to show you how.
As a furniture repair business, we're opening the doors to our workshop to show you the tools and techniques to repair furniture.
What I need to do is take that apart, repair it, and put it back together so I can get this chair in working order.
We give you tips to make your repair projects easier. Let's get into the workshop and start fixing furniture.
I've repaired a lot of wobbly chairs in my shop. And one thing that I've seen a lot of is people that try and repair their own chair, but they fail at doing that. They either don't fix the problem or they make the problem even worse. So I'm going to show you the right way to go about fixing chairs. So if you're repairing a chair of your own, you do it the right way, and that way it's going to last a long time. I'm going to start by flipping this over and taking a look at what's underneath. These chairs are 4 years old. They're bought at a national retailer. And look how loose this joint is. Part of the problem is there's a screw in each of these. Now, wood joints like this, legs to the seat or legs to the rails, should never be put together with metal. Reason is that the metal and the wood will fight each other with constant movement on the chair. And the metal always wins. So it ends up wearing out the joint, and you end up with loosening joints prematurely. I'm going to take these screws out, take the legs off, and see what we've got. These are drywall screws. This is definitely a DIY repair job. So let's see how easily this comes apart. 1, 2. Yeah, this wasn't difficult. Okay. Now if this is your first time taking a chair apart, what I recommend is labeling the parts. I typically, on a complex chair, would label these front left, front right, and I'd label all the parts. These ones don't need to come apart, so that's fine there. But I just label here, this is the right, this is the front, and that way I know that I put this back in the right spot, and I don't mix it up and try to put it on this way. The problem here is there's paint on this tenon, which means any glue they put on it didn't stick. Wood glue needs a clean surface on both sides, pressure, and a nice tight joint for that to hold. If we look inside the hole here, what you'll see is the top of the hole here down to that yellow mark is bare wood. So there wasn't any glue that was holding the leg together. This ridge down here is actually a glob of glue that has dried, and then below that there's extra space. So I need to clean out that glue and make sure I've got bare wood here for the new glue to stick to. To clean that out, I use a chisel and just break those pieces so that I've got a clean surface on the wood. If you don't have a chisel, you might be able to use a utility knife to break out that glue. The next step is to take a small piece of sandpaper. I use 120 grit. And what I want to do is roll it backwards because I want to sand the inside of this hole. What I want to do is remove any glue residue in here because the new glue won't stick to the wood with the old glue there. So just running it on the inside here. And I have to be careful not to sand too much or that joint will become loose. On the top of the legs I have to do the same thing. Remove any glue residue and paint and just use sandpaper. This is all ready to be glued up now, but I want to tell you about the proper way to glue things up. Wood glue needs 4 things to work properly. It needs clean joints, it needs tight joints, there needs to be the right amount of glue applied, and it needs pressure, clamping pressure. If you don't have one of those 4, chances are the joint's going to fail prematurely. So what I want to do is show you the right way to do it so that the chair repair that you're doing is going to last a long time. I use an artist brush when I spread glue. This allows me to get in all the nooks and crannies and cover everything off that I need to. I start by putting wood glue in the holes, and the mistake some people make is they just do this and think, oh, I've got glue in there. But it's not enough. So glue isn't going to stick where you don't apply it. So what you need to do is work this around the surface of all those edges. You want to make sure there isn't a spot that's dry on the edges. The bottom of the hole doesn't matter. It's just the edges that you need to cover off. So do this on all four and then move on to the legs. If I now take these legs and put them in the hole, a lot of that glue is going to get pushed to the bottom, which is the previous mistake someone made here. So what I need to do is coat these as well in glue. You want to use a regular wood glue or a carpenter's glue. It's the right type of tool for the job here. Stay away from polyurethane glues. On this style of chair, the legs are leaning back here, and on the front they're more upright. So what you do is insert the back ones first and get them going on the angle, and then you can start to work in the front ones. Now when you're gluing up something like this, you want to make sure that you do this quickly because the glue can dry out fast. I use a glue that has a setup time of 20 minutes. It gives me some time to work, but some glues will set up in little as 5 minutes. What I'm doing here is I just need to seat these into the chair. So use a rubber mallet and hit the ends square and get these all lined up. If you remember, I said earlier we need clamping pressure on this. The way to deal with this is quite easy. It's a matter of standing it up, putting some padding on the seat, and putting something heavy on it. What you're looking for is these legs to settle down so they're nice and level when the glue dries. This previously wobbly chair is now rock solid. A glue job that's properly done should last a couple of decades. Glue does break down over time, but as you've seen here, it is something that you can fix. If you'd like to see more furniture videos, you can click on the icon over here and click on subscribe, and you get notified when our next videos get published. We want this to be a supportive community about furniture repairs. So if you have comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching Fixing Furniture.